S. Chan presents Educational Video Lectures. Difficult concepts made easy. Study anywhere, anytime.
More than pamphlets and brochures are required to sell a product, your CV is required to showcase your ability and skills.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to these books from Vikas Publishing House. Link is provided in the description box.
Welcome to S. Chand Academy. I am Dr. Divyabha. I would be talking about curriculum vitae and covering letter to it. So we will get all the details about how to write curriculum vitae, which is called CV, and what is covering letter for that and what is the importance of covering letter for it. So if we go by the definition of CV, that provides an overview of person's experience and other qualification. So it will be talking about what qualification you are carrying, it will be talking about your skills, it would be talking about your experience in the same industry or maybe a different industry. In some countries, CV is typically the first item that a potential employer encounters. In our organization, in our culture also, it is important to give CV first, then they'll get to know what exactly your skills, your education, qualification, background is, then they go forward for the interview. So this is the first thing which you need to give it to your employer, your potential employers, so you can think about how important it is to figure out what details you need to give in this. Regarding the job seekers, this is typically used to screen applicants. A lot of applicants are there. They will figure out whether your skills are matching with the requirement of the organization or not, and often followed by an interview. Some of the organization, this is the first thing, but when walk-in interviews happen, this is not the first thing to be used for the scrutiny. It is only used for the reference when you are also there and you have written whatever you are not talking about yourself, that is given in the CV, and whenever they want to take the reference, they can take the reference from there. What is the general structure of a CV? What do you think? What are the requirements to be written in a CV? It's not that you will write each and everything or you will miss out something important. So these are certain things which are important and you need to mention it. Start from your contact information. Very precise contact information should be given. For example, you need to give your email ID, professional email ID which is required. Do not write anything which is not proper, which is not properly formatted, which is not in sync with the professional name. Do not write sweetie110 and then you are writing gmail.com. Always give very unique and very professional and formal email writing. So do mention your email here and do mention your contact details in terms of your address and your phone number. Personal information should be given. Personal information like what's your name, what is your age, and certain other like nationality. So all these things should be given. Personal summary should also be given. What is your objective in life, especially in terms of your professional career. Employment history, if any. If you have any employment history, then only talk about it. Do not write employment history nil if you are a fresher. Do not mention this column at all. Professional qualification, whatever qualifications you have so far, and chronology should be from latest to the last. You need to mention that. Education, apart from professional qualification, you have done some courses, some skill-based courses if you have done, please do mention it professional qualification. And education is what we do traditionally for degrees, do mention that here. Same goes here. Chronology should be latest to the last. Awards, if you have received any, do not mention nil awards. If you have received any, please do mention. Publications, books, if there are any publication, any research paper publication, any books you have published, or even chapters you have published, anything which is published and that is your intellectual resource which is there, please do mention it. Then professional membership of any clubs, societies, organizations, if it is there, do mention that. If it is of any cost for you, if it is of any, actually it is adding any value. Generally, professional societies are there which are adding value in your CV, which are talking a lot about it, because through professional societies, you are a member of other societies also, and you are organizing a lot of events or participating in a lot of events. Then interest, whatever your interest is, do not mention a lot of interest in it. Maybe a few you can write here. Then references, generally references are being given on request, but again, if you think somebody can vouch for your credentials, you must write their name and their details. One thing is also important here, when you are writing the references, please do ask, take the permission, seek the permission whose reference you are giving. It should not be a shock for them when they are getting a call and somebody is asking about you. So they should be well informed about it. Then how to structure a CV, what are the things which are required to be written in a CV, that we have already discussed, but how to structure it should be clear, with a number of main sections and subsections also. Some broader guidelines would be given to you, and how to structure an effective CV, that also I would just talk about it. To begin with, when we are talking about, you need to give your contact information. What are the contact information? Write your name, write your address, your phone number, cell number and email ID. Again, if you are changing your phone number somewhere, your mobile number is being changed, please do mention what is the latest mobile number. Email, you need to check. It's not that email ID you have given but you are not checking it. You must check it regularly. Personal information should be given. Date of birth, again, it is not that every time you have to give, but you can talk about these are certain things which can be given. Date of birth, place of birth, and citizenship. Visa status, if you are thinking that you are going to work in a multinational company where it is possible that you have to go abroad and work there. So do talk about what is your visa status. You talk about your passport status also, and gender. That should also be mentioned. Optional informations are also there, whether you want to give or do not give, or maybe if it is being asked by the organization, do mention it. One is marital status, spouse's name, then children. But again, it is not required to mention each and everything unless it has been asked. Then personal summary, you need to know how to profile it, how to write it. First thing, a personal profile is a way of introducing yourself. Now you are introducing yourself to the potential employer and outline who you are, what are your skills, what are the qualities you are carrying, and why you have done, you will be an asset to this company while working here. And it will also provide an opportunity to your employer to seek what they are asking for, whether you have those skills or not. Employment history list wherever you have worked so far, talk about it and list the chronological order. Again, details have to be given, and what are those details which are required here? One is the work history, then academic position, whatever position you were carrying there, and research and training. If at all you are carrying all these things, do mention that. Then start from your present employment, what you are doing right now. List of the employment of 15 years. If you have 20 years of experience, do not mention all whatever you have done so far. So talk about main things, main works you have done, and list the name of the companies. Location also should be given there. A brief description of the company and whatever positions you have held so far, talk about it. Very brief details need to be given. Then and do not include your salary in this, it is not required. Description, they might ask for the last salary, where you are working now, what is the last drawn salary. If they ask, then only mention it, otherwise do not mention it anywhere. Description of your accomplishment and achievement, whatever roles you have carried out in this particular organization or any organization where you have worked, talk about, tell about your work, your accomplishment, and the outcomes of it, your learnings out of it, talk about it. And strong action verbs should be used like I managed it, I resolved the issues, I developed, I initiated something, or I coordinated something. So such kind of verbs should be used while talking about your employment history. Now, when we talk about what is your professional qualification, is it different from education or not? It is different. How professional qualification would be giving you added advantage in your CV, certification, any accreditation if you have done, if any skills you have acquired so far from anywhere, any organization, must talk about it. It is list any relevant courses and training you have completed so far. So whatever skills you have completed, you must talk about it. You should not shy in telling everything, whatever you have done. If we talk about education, what exactly that education is, which is a formal education where you got the degree, include dates, measures and details of the degree, training certificate from its high school, university, then summer trainings if you have done, talk about it. Then some more heads, like if there are awards, any awards you have won so far, talk about it. So guide, just give the outline of it. It is not that all the details needs to be given. Publication, that way you have to give all the details, required details, and in detail you need to mention what is the publication. It has to go like references or bibliography, where you are talking about you are the author or some other co-authored with this. You must talk about it, what is the name, what is the place, and who has published it. In page numbers also, all the details need to be given in the publication, whether it is books, or then talk about your professional societies also. Professional society membership, if you have, must talk about it. Then interest. Some of the interest, people will get to know what kind of person you are. So interest, again, it should be outcome based interest, that you are a sports person. People will get to know that you are a good team player. So which is the requirement to be a sports person. If you say I like photography, that means you are a creative person, talking about creativity here. So everybody wants those employees who are multifaceted and multi-talented. So it is always good when you talk about your interest in a respectful manner. Then references, again, if you are giving the references of somebody, contact information should be given, and like address, their affiliation with the organization, and their phone number, their email ID, everything has to be given when in the references. Do not give a list of references, only maybe 2 are enough. Those who can actually talk about you in a positive manner, and they should be informed well before giving their references in the CV. Whenever anything comes and they have to talk about you, they should be able to talk about you. They also need some time to gather their thoughts, to acknowledge you, whatever you have done. Writing your CV, before drafting your CV, it is important. Just see where you are sending your CV. Always before sending the CV to the organization, just see what is their requirement. Some of the times we need to fashion our messages or fashion our CVs, especially the job description, especially when we talk about the objectives, career objectives. We can frame certain other things which are in line with the requirement of the organization. That can be done. You cannot change your skills, your education, your qualification, but yes, certainly goals can be changed, can be modified in a manner what is the requirement of the organization. So it is not something which will be there permanently. You can change it also. And if at all there is any change in the contact number, do mention what is the new or the latest one. What are the do's? Some general points and do's while writing your CVs, while preparing your CVs. Keep your CVs brief and concise. There is no need to go in details about your employment history. Whatever is required, your accomplishment is required. It is not required the job, what is the company profile. It is not required. Do not mention it. Try to keep your CV like on the A4 sheet. 1 or 2 pages are enough, not to be given more than that. Use brief, informative sentences, short paragraphs, standard English. Do not show your linguistic abilities there. Nobody is there to check it in the dictionary, what you have written and what is the meaning of it. So it is not required. When describing your responsibilities and achievement, start the point with an action verb. It is always good when you talk about that how you lead the team, how you develop the team, or you find out the solution, you resolve some matters. So always give certain action verbs while talking about your job description somewhere. Use bold types of bullet points and highlight information. Bullet points are also required in CV. Proofread for spelling, grammar, punctuation mistakes which are generally there, and it is very annoying for employers to see that mistakes are there. Very important, even very important element, very important document for a student, for somebody who is seeking a job. Then you are not taking care of these things, that shows that you are careless in nature. Use updated CV, and regularly you need to update your CV whenever situation. Like I have done one skill program, I must mention it. I wrote something, some research paper was published, I must mention it. Maybe certain other changes are there, you must mention it. So every time you need to update your CV, do not keep it without any changes. So go into certain things which comes under don'ts. So you should not mention everything, each and everything in your CV. What are those things which should not be mentioned in the CV at all? Do not go into much details. Employers are too busy to read the rambling, unfocused CVs and resumes. It should be a focused one where skills, whatever skills are required for the to get that job, please do mention that. Apart from this, if you think I can elaborate in a better manner, do elaborate it. Leave gaps in your employment history. So if there are any gaps, tell them. Maybe you were studying at that time, you were doing something else, some skill program you have joined, talk about it. If there are any gaps, you need to mention what are the reasons of those gaps. Do not use too many different font and points. It is not required at all. Do not use inappropriate colors, graphics, photographs also, it is not required. And people, when you are referring somebody, do mention the details. This is the end of the last session where we were talking about how to write CVs and what are the important points to be written in CV, what we can mention, what we should not mention in CVs. In the next lecture, we will be discussing about how to write cover letters and the importance of cover letters along with CVs.
Now quality learning is easily available at your doorstep. S. Chand Academy brings detailed lectures based on UGC curriculum as per the New Education Policy 2020. So do not forget to subscribe to the S. Chand Academy and access the wide world of knowledge conveniently sitting within the comfort of your home. Stay connected and keep watching S. Chand Academy. Happy learning!
So far we have covered how to write curriculum vitae and how to write CVs, resume writing, what are the important components to be written in CV writing, and how to make it attractive and what are do's and don'ts in CV writing. Now what is important, are we supposed to write any cover letter also with along with your CV writing? Yes, this is also very, very important aspect and element of any CVs. What is the reason, why do we go for CVs and mentioning CVs, and why do we talk about a cover letter which reacts and which acts as a cover for your CVs? First thing comes, there is nobody has time, and there are so many companies who are actually using your covering letter as the scrutiny letters for themselves. A lot of CVs have come. CVs have 2 pages, 3 pages length. CV, whereas cover letter is only of 1 page, hardly 60-70 words, where you are talking about your qualification. In brief, you are talking about your skills, required skill set. You are talking about, very briefly, you are talking about your education, your qualification, and that is it. If it is important for organization to know what exactly you have done from your education, they'll get to know and then they'll read your CV. So it is acting as one of the scrutiny points for your interviews. We call cover letters as job application letters also. Certain government organizations are giving their own standard format of writing job applications, but all the organizations are not giving. So you are writing this cover letter along with your CV in your emails. So in the email, body of the email, you will write cover letter, along with you will attach your CV or resume with this. What is the importance and function? This is sells one's services. This is all about that the first impression you are creating on others. Employer's point of view and job analysis. Just in the front go, in one go, they'll get to know what exactly they are asking for, whether it is matchable, it is suitable or not. Then there are two types of letters. One is cover letter, and where advertisement and reference to the advertisement is given and significant qualifications are given. Along with your CV is attached. All in one, just one CV along with certain paragraphs which is covering the cover letter also. But we would be elements of the covering letter. What are the elements you need to acquire? It is just like another letter. Address of the applicant and the date you need to, this had to be latest address you need to mention here, the date when you are writing to your employer, employer's name and address as an inside address to whom you are addressing this particular letter, you must mention that. Salutation, dear sir, dear ma'am, that would also come. Then body of the entire covering letter, where you are talking about, we'll just talk about what is the structure and how you have to frame your covering letter. The body will come, then complimentary close, it is yours sincerely, yours faithfully, and after that signatures and enclosures. Enclosure is your CV or resume. Address of the applicant, this is how you need to mention it. First is address of the applicant, date, employer's address, subject, salutation. Everything should come on the left side. It should be left aligned because this is complete block style, and in complete block style, everything has to be aligned on the left side. Complimentary close, name of the applicant and signature. Now, what should be the body of your letter? Introductory paragraph, you have to write something very attractive which can attract the attention of your readers. Source of application, if you have got this reference of this particular job from some advertisement, mention it. If any reference, somebody has referred this, you must mention it. And if it is your own initiative, you have find out that they have the requirement, then you can talk about that also. But first thing is you need to attract the attention of your reader by telling your career goal, your objective. This is how the opener is, your advertisement in this particular newspaper. This is the date for the post of this particular reason or branch has attracted me. I believe I shall be able to discharge the responsibility therein. So this is the first line you need to mention. Second section should talk about highlight your suitability for the job. They have already asked, this is the requirement and this is the job. This is the profile. Job description has also been given. Now you need to talk about highlight your suitability for this particular job. First thing is your qualification. Are you qualifying or are you qualified enough to apply for that job? Must mention it. If you have any job experience which is in line with this particular job, please mention that. Also talk about your outstanding contribution. If you have any, must talk about it so that becomes your added advantage to get that job. Post advertisement, refer to your CV and your resume. This is one sample of it. Now, we have already talked about how to begin this, what should be the main body of your letters. Now, how to close it. What are the things which are required while closing it? Are you writing something which is action oriented? And how would you write that? First, I look forward to hearing from you soon. That is standard common writing closing. And that could also work. If you think you need to add something else, you must mention it. I hope my qualification will merit your consideration. And I am hoping to receive a positive response soon. That can be written. I would appreciate an opportunity of attending an interview. Now they are giving hints that if this has been selected, I'll be able to come for the interview and appear in the interview. I hope you will give me a chance to talk to you personally. That could also be given. My resume or CV convinces you that my background is suitable for the post, and these lines can be added at the end. And you can also add that I'm eager to tell you more about myself. See, you can write all these things in the closing of your letter, which will give the completeness to your writing. You have started in a manner the way it has to be started, how to begin your letters, or giving reference from where you have got the reference of this particular job. Then you are talking about what exactly your qualifications are, your ability and capability to get this job. And then you are talking about what is the closing of this, what is the end of this. So this is how you are talking about that. I look forward to hearing from you soon. And that means the person is enthusiastic to know more about the process where he can be a part of the interview. This is how we write, we frame our covering letter, which goes with the CVs. So in this lecture, we have talked about what are covering letters, what is the importance of covering letter to go with CV, how to frame it, how to begin it, what is the main body of the covering letter, and how to end it so that it becomes action oriented and people would like to respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
If you want to study these topics in detail, refer to these books from Vikas Publishing House. Link is provided in the description box. If you found our video interesting, please like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon.
All rights reserved. This video has been prepared for educational purposes only. No part of it may be reproduced or copied without the permission of the copyright holder.